What is up, everybody? My name is John Walker, your host for this season of Bearcat Update. First and foremost, welcome back. We hope everybody had a great winter break. Mine, as men's basketball coach Ben McCollum would say, was fantastic. With that being said, it's time to get back right into the action with some Bearcat sports. While we were on break, the action didn't stop, so stay tuned to catch up on what you missed this episode since the last time we talked in December. Over the break, the men and women basketball teams were hard at work. The women traveled to Honolulu, Hawaii to compete in the Malika Sports Christmas Classic, and the Bearcats were able to walk away with a split trip, winning one and losing one. When the women weren't on the court, they were at Luau's watching assistant coach Adai Houston do backflips. Speaking of athleticism, the men's team has used its own athleticism to will its way to a 20-1 record, which is good enough for first place in the MIAA. With wins on the road last weekend against Newman and Central Oklahoma, the Cats have eclipsed the 20-win mark for the past 9 seasons. Both teams will be back in action this week in Bearcat Arena when Central Missouri comes to Maryville on Thursday, and then again when Lincoln visits the Cats on Saturday. Going back to the women, they were on a 3-game winning streak before hitting a rough patch of their schedule. Our reporter Nolan Brooks sat down with Coach Austin Meyer to see what they need to improve on. Nolan?
It's February, and the women's basketball season is just over the halfway point. With a near 500 record overall, the ladies sit just outside a spot in the MIAA tournament in March. I caught up with head coach Austin Meyer to see how the season is going so far with half their schedule left.
We faced some adversity. We've had some injuries to key players. Right now with Kendi being out the last 5 games, obviously that's hurt us. Mallory McConkey was out, the first 5, 6, 7 games. So just trying to continue to handle that adversity, play through it, and get better every day.
And as the season progresses for the ladies, specific parts of their game can change, and Coach Meyer recognizes what the team needs to improve on.
Yeah, rebounding is a huge one for us. We haven't been a very good rebounding team for most of the year, and that's an emphasis for us in practice. And sometimes it's just, maybe giving more points in practice to an offensive rebound when you're doing competitive things. Going to get 50-50 balls, that's huge for us. Just the toughness things, the playing hard, competing. We're playing a little bit faster. Offensively, where we can hopefully get some easy buckets in transition. But yeah, defensively, we were really good early, and our offense has gotten better, and I think our defense has kind of regressed a little bit. So we got to get back to where we're defending and rebounding at a high level.
With a conference tournament spot within their reach, the ladies look to get back into the win column. Reporting for Bearcat Update, I'm Nolan Brooks.
Thanks, Nolan. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We talk Northwest Track and Field when we come back. You're watching Bearcat Update on KNWT, Channel 8. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. Last week, the track and field team traveled to Pittsburgh, Kansas to compete in the Pitt State Gorilla Classic. Prior to that, the men's team was ranked number 7 in the country, and the women made the jump from number 14 in the preseason rankings all the way to number 3. A huge contributor to the women's climb is senior Heba Magoob. She owns the top time in the 400-meter dash, ranked 2nd in the 200, and is a part of the second fastest 4x400 relay in the country. Senior Audrey Wickman is also ranked number 4 in the high jump for the women. Our reporter Tucker Hill caught up with Coach Brandon Masters, sprinter Gavin Monday, and distance runner Michaela Huell to see their expectations and what the future holds. Tucker.
Earlier this week, the men's and women's indoor track team came inside the top 10 in national rankings, men coming in at number 7 and the women coming in at number 3. I caught up with Coach Masters to see what's so different about this team and what he enjoys most about them.
Work ethic. Seeing a kid that is just bought in completely to the system, wants to work hard, gives everything in the 2 hours that I have them for each day, and then knowing that that same kid is then working extremely hard in the 22 hours they're not with me. It's neat to see someone who is worked so hard and then to immediately realize a success of a monster personal best.
The work ethic and determination to be great on this team isn't only seen by the coaches, but it's also seen by the other athletes on the team as well. I caught up with grad assistant Michaela Huell to catch her thoughts on the team.
They do have determination. I think they deserve it because even during cross season, they're outside training year-round, just like we do during cross and track. So I think they deserve it, and I also think that they'll keep moving up.
Being ranked within the top 10 nationally is something that's extremely impressive and something that should not be overlooked. And definitely to the freshmen that are on the team, it's something special as well. I caught up with freshman Gavin Monday as to what stuck out to him most at Northwest and to hear his thoughts on the rankings.
I liked Coach Masters' grit and determination to be great, and I also use Fieldhouse, obviously. I mean, it reflects pretty accurately what our team does every day at practice and the weight room and on the track.
The determination shown by this team from freshman to grad assistant is something extremely special to Coach Masters. He thinks highly of his team and appreciates all the work that they've put in and can't wait to watch them grow the rest of the season.
Oh, I think my system has something to do with it, of course. We're very team, very culture-oriented, but this team is special. And I think that the main reason is they have bought in and believe that they're great.
Signing off for Bearcat Update, this has been Tucker Hill.
Thanks, Tucker. The men and women will be back in action this upcoming weekend in the Hughes Fieldhouse for the Bearcat Open. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching Bearcat Update right here on KNWT, Channel 8. Welcome back to Bearcat Update. We've got something special planned for the end of this episode, so stay tuned with us for a couple of minutes. But for now, we're going to take a jump into my pick of the week. And this week, well, it's the Northwest men's basketball team. Ben McCollum has preached over the last month or so about how he doesn't see the same hunger from his team this year than he did last year. And assistant coach Zach Snyder was able to attest that creating that hunger is one of the hardest things to do. Over the last couple of weeks, however, that seemed to change. McCollum said that he doesn't know if this will be the turning point until the end of the season. He added that there really isn't a way to know until the end of the season when you can sit back and reflect. When UCM comes to town on Thursday, the men will be looking to avenge their lone loss in the past 2 seasons. The Mules ended the Bearcats' 46-game winning streak back on December 7th in Warrensburg. The opportunity to avenge that, along with other reasons, is why men's basketball is my pick of the week. To end our show on a sincere note, we'd like to take a minute to remember and commemorate somebody that widely impacted the world of sports as we know it. On the morning of January 26th, a helicopter crashed mountainside in Calabasas, California. That helicopter had 9 total passengers on it, including future NBA Hall of Famer Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna. Our thoughts, condolences, and prayers extend to anybody affected by the aftermath of this tragedy. You didn't have to directly know Kobe Bryant for him to have an impact on your life. That, through coaches here at Northwest, is pretty clear.
Yeah, I think it's just from a basketball figure perspective. I think the tough part about that for me is I don't know him. I think there's some things that he did for the game of basketball. I think that the side of it that would be most difficult for this is for his kids and for the other people that were on something like that. That's not Kobe. That's dad and that's sister, and for the others it's dad and mom and sister and that's the tough part about something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of basketball. I'd always, watch the playoffs and stuff on TV, and then during the TV timeout, you go out to the driveway and you emulate the the moves and stuff, which I wasn't as good at, obviously. But no, he just had such a competitive drive, and then obviously you see the stories and you hear coaching. We're always studying people, and you always heard the stories about, he'd have the 4 a.m. workout with his trainer. He'd be in there at 3:30 warming up for the workout, little things like that that nobody outworked him. I think that's a good message.
It's kind of one of those deaths that you just expected him to be around basketball for the next 40 years. You see him on ESPN engaging with LeBron James, Luka Doncic while they're playing the game, and you kind of just figure you're going to see Kobe once a week for, like I said, the next 40 years. So really didn't hit me until I watched that performance and just very, very sad. I mean, teared up a little bit, honestly, and just one of those things that you don't really expect to ever happen, and kind of reminds you how precious life is at times, and it can be taken away pretty quickly.
Kobe Bryant was an inspiration, or had the potential to be an inspiration to all of us. It didn't matter if you mimicked his shots during the timeouts when the commercials came on, and it didn't matter if you watched his game to try and learn your own, and it didn't matter what team you're a fan of. Myself, and more than likely anybody watching this, didn't personally know Kobe Bryant, which sort of makes us realize how crazy it is that somebody of his public figure can find a way to affect each and every one of us. I specifically remember the first time I ever watched him don the 24 across that back of the Lakers jersey. I can remember his last game against Utah as if it was a few weeks ago, and I can remember the way I felt hearing the news on that somber Sunday morning. Kobe's life wasn't about what he did as a basketball player. It's obviously significant to the person that he was, but perhaps not as significant to the person that he was going to be. From all accounts, it seemed that he was a dedicated father, great husband, and clearly a great ambassador for the game of basketball. He flew his daughters all over the country to watch Trae Young, Luka Doncic, LeBron James. He had hopes of watching Gigi or Gianna go on to play at UConn, eventually the WNBA, and he hoped that women would be empowered in the world of athletics. And the worst part of all of this is that all of those hopes for the future are just now unaccounted for what ifs. His message, Mamba mentality, is the one that we can and should approach every day with. And it isn't about trying to outscore somebody, out-rebound somebody, or pile up a triple-double. It's about taking every situation and attacking it to the best of our abilities. This instance is one of the bleak reminders of the realities of life, and I urge and strongly encourage all of you to hug one another, love one another, and attack every single thing that you do with Mamba mentality. I think it's safe to bring this one to a close with the very last words that Kobe left us with after his final NBA game. Mamba out. What's up, everybody? Make sure to go follow Bearcat Update's Twitter at BearcatUpdate_8, and make sure to follow the YouTube page KNWT8. And thanks for watching. To check out last season of Bearcat Update, click up here, and to watch all of our previous episodes, click down here. See you guys next time.